just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Welcome to Colts Law. I am Lawrence Owen, and today we are going to go over the 4th round pick of the Indianapolis Colts, Jacob Eason from the University of Washington. Now, I've gone over this film over and over and over, trying to find some things that I like and that I dislike about Jacob Eason, and I wanted to share that with you. Now, Chris Ballard held a press conference right after day one and said, hey, I didn't want to rush going after somebody, right? He's not going to reach for somebody. A lot of people, including myself, thought, well, that just means there was no quarterback in this draft class that he liked. Surprising many in the 4th round by grabbing Jacob Eason, and that made me wonder, what in the world does he like about him in the 4th round? Now, obviously, he didn't want to take him in the 1st. He didn't want to take him in the 2nd. I mean, there's obvious reasons for that once I broke the film down, but there's also reasons to believe that Jacob Eason very well could end up being a franchise quarterback, a very good franchise quarterback. But he needs time to learn behind a couple players. I think he could actually learn a lot from Phillip Rivers. I also, believe it or not, believe that he can learn a lot from Jacoby Brissett. Maybe not as much. Actually, I think he might actually learn more from Jacoby than what he would from Phillip. Because, quite frankly, as you see right here, he's already one of the best pocket passers I have ever broke down. If he stands there in the pocket with no pressure whatsoever, he will deliver perfect passes, whether or not it's 5 yards down the field or 55 yards down the field. He can throw every type of throw. He can throw laser beams. He can throw lobbed fade right. He can throw just about anything. His biggest issue, it's not that he's not mobile. It's that he cannot throw as well being mobile. While he's on the run, his accuracy drops dramatically. He's incredibly accurate as long as his feet are set and he's not on the move. As long as that happens, he can drop a dime anywhere on the field. And we're going to go over that in just a moment. So, why sit here and wait? We go right ahead and go into this. I'm really, really excited about breaking down Jacob Eason. Let's get down to it. All right. First clip we got here. Look at the formation. My goodness, that is a big formation. That's 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and 1 wide receiver on the field. And being the fact that the Indianapolis Colts love using 2 tight end sets, and they just picked up Jonathan Taylor as running back to go with Marlon Mack, you may actually see this formation quite a bit in the upcoming years. Now, this is a go route. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of play action on this. He's going to fake the handoff, try to draw the safeties up, and you're going to have a go route by that wide receiver right up top of the screen. Now, when this happens, watch. Oh my goodness, this is such a beautiful play. We are in actual, don't mind that flag. There's Eason's, look at that throw. Oh my, look at that. Perfect. That is perfect. You can't throw a football better than that. I mean, you just can't. That was gorgeous. If you throw a football better than that, that's absolutely impressive. I don't think you could throw a football better than that at all. You've seen, now we're going to watch this play over again. You got the tight end lined up. He takes a snap. There's the good handoff. Now, that fullback stops to make sure that there's no outside blitz coming at him. That way Eason has time. Because as I said earlier, as long as there's no pressure, he could drop a bomb anywhere. Anywhere. Now, as you see, the wide receiver's taking off, go route. Eason stops. Now look where he's at. He's at the 23-yard line. Wide receiver's still on that go route. Eason sees, okay, so the corner, he's in position. He can't throw this ball directly in front of him. That cornerback has position on that wide receiver. This is a little bit where Jacoby Brissett really had issues last year. And this is what Jacob Eason brings to the table. He's going to throw this wide receiver open by throwing it towards the post, letting the receiver cut in front of him, and then when the cornerback looks back, the wide receiver makes that cut, ends up being open. Now look where how he's standing. He's standing perfectly still. He's got the ball up high. You see where it's bent at the elbows, so that ball's about right in his chest. He's got a hand, you can't see it, but he's got a hand on top, hand on bottom. This is great positioning. He has, I'll show this better in a different clip, but watch what happens. Boom! He launched that football. Now, he's at the 24-yard line at the release. At the release, he's at the 24. And he throws it inside, which makes that cornerback come back inside, hits him in stride. Look where he caught that football. He's at the 20. That's a 55-yard dime. Throwing him open, hitting him in stride on a 55-yard dime. Not every quarterback in the NFL can do that. There's only a handful that could. There's plenty that could throw 55 yards. There's a few that could throw 55 yards and throw a receiver open. But to throw timing 55 yards, throwing them open and hitting them in stride so that they can create yards after catch, that is something that is absolutely rare in the NFL, and it's something that was missing from the Colts last season, right? Absolutely missing. The Colts didn't stretch the field on these kind of plays enough. Jacob Eason has that ability. But that's not the only ability that Jacob Eason has, and we're going to go over another one of those very interesting throws that he has right now. Now on this play, I'm going to show multiple things that makes Jacob Eason so dangerous, and is going to be a very dangerous player in the NFL. One thing that is so important for a quarterback in the NFL is their release, right? Absolutely. First off, like I said earlier, he holds that ball up high with both hands on the football. This is important. He don't have to learn it yet, because that way when an edge defender comes around, they are taught to swing around, swat at the football. If he's got a hand underneath and on top, he's going to be able to hold on to that football a lot better. Also, that football's already up high, which means he's going to be able to actually, his timing of release from the moment he decides to throw the football to the moment that ball leaves his hands is so quick. There is no time. There's almost no time from the point where he goes, where it's at his chest to at his head to release. It's so fast, it gives very little time for any defender to try to knock that ball out where he's only got one hand on the football. So that's also a big deal in the NFL. Also, his throwing mechanics are perfect. when he's standing still, when he's planted both feet and he's throwing from a standing position, he has excellent throwing mechanics. His shoulders are lined up, his feet are squared, his arms, the path that the ball goes through, going to his head, and then the forward release. Everything is absolutely outstanding. This play also shows his decision-making skills is not bad. When he decides to release that football, he makes a decision, he gets rid of it instantaneously. And it doesn't matter whether or not you're 5 yards or 55 yards, he's going to throw that ball in front of you, lead the receiver so that he can make a catch and run. Let's watch. We're going to watch this actually in full speed first. That way you could actually see the full effect of how quickly this ball comes out. All right, there's a snap. He looks, boom. That was fast. And he had pressure in his face. Pressure in his face. And he was able to throw him well open. All right, So, we're going to go through this now a little bit so that you're able to actually see everything step for step. Now, the ball's going to go to him. He's just going a little crossing pattern, 5 yards, right? And in that process, this guy here is coming in. He's blitzing right in. He's going to be right in Eason's face. Pressure doesn't make his accuracy bad. He'll stand in that pocket and take the hit and still throw a dime. He will still throw a dime even with pressure in his face. This is a very important because in the NFL, you're going to have pressure in your face a lot. There's the ball. Now, he sees he's open, he's going to be crossing. You can see he's got the ball. He's getting ready to cock that sucker and throw it. But he sees this guy's unblocked. He's coming right at him. He knows it, right? Did you see how quick that ball? Up and out. This guy didn't get one step. A full step before that ball came up and out. That ball's already in the air. And watch where this ball ends up. Right there. Right in front of him. The guy didn't have to reach out too far. He just put his hands out in front of him. Perfect. Right in front of his helmet. Beautiful pass. Great pitch and catch run by Jacob Eason. As I said earlier, if you noticed, his mechanics were absolutely perfect. The release was perfect. Everything about this play shows NFL quality material here. Now, what about when he's in the red zone? Right? How does he do in a red zone? We're going to find out next. On this next play, as you can see, they are in the red zone. They're at the 16-yard line. And we're going to see Jacob Eason make one of the best NFL-type passes that a quarterback can possibly make in the NFL. He's going to throw an over-the-shoulder fade route in the end zone. And he does it as beautiful as anyone. We've seen him. He can throw 55 yards, throw a receiver open on a dime, leading them in stride. We've seen that he could throw in front of a receiver and lead them on short little quick out routes or in little short patterns. What we're going to see now is this fade route. And he's going to throw perfect touch on this football over the cornerback, right over the shoulder of the receiver to where the corner can't get to it. And the receiver gets it. I mean, watch this play. This is absolutely outstanding. There it is. There's the out route. Leads him right up. Bam. Did you see that? That was so beautiful. I mean, my goodness. I mean, dear Lord, that was gorgeous. We haven't seen that kind of play. I mean, Brissett will throw that occasionally, but he doesn't throw it very good. Now, let me drop this to 50-50. All right. Now, the receiver's going to start off going straight. The cornerback is going to take the inside leverage, which means this has to be a fade route by Eason. As soon as Eason, he takes a snap, looks, he notices instantaneously his receiver is cutting outside, which means this is a fade, which means his receiver's got position. The corner's on the inside. He's got position on the outside. He's got to throw this with perfect touch all the way up and over. He's got his feet set. There's no pressure whatsoever. He ain't got to run. You see the arc, the throw that he throws this football? Holy mackerel. Now he knows, look, the receiver, when he releases that football, the receiver's at the 12-yard line. This ball goes 3-4 yards deep into the end zone. So this is a target pass. He's throwing to a point on the field. He's not throwing to the receiver here. He's throwing to a point on the field that he has estimated in his head where the receiver is going to be when that ball gets there. This is an amazing job by this quarterback. Jacob Eason shows a lot of mental calculations here. Now he throws this ball. Look at that. That ball makes a huge arc. It's just now starting to come down, and the receiver's at the 5. And they are lined up right now. That corner is dead on top of that receiver. But the ball's still leading outside. It's gonna land out here in the end zone. Look at that. Look where that ball's landing. Right here. That corner would have to make one of the most amazing plays he's ever had to do in his life in order to make a play on this ball. And that's not happening. He dropped that ball perfectly. He threw that football so that when the wide receiver got near the end zone, that's when the wide receiver cut out to adjust to the fade route over his shoulder. That way he created just a half a step separation from the cornerback. That is a beautiful fade route by Jacob Eason. Now we've seen that he can throw multiple type passes, right? Now we've seen he can throw those 55-yard, throw a receiver open on a dime. We've seen that he has that quick decision, great throwing mechanics, and quick release, and able to lead a target even in a short distance. And then, of course, here, obviously that fade route accuracy is on point. Now what about setting a screen? That's something else that is very important in the NFL. Let's find out how he does with that. Now on this play, we're going to see him set up a screen. And we're going to see, and you're like, well, any quarterback can throw a screenplay, right? There's little intricacies about a screenplay that can make it either succeed, fail miserably, or succeed brilliantly. And Jacob Eason shows a lot of the really important intricacies that'll make a screen succeed fantastically. One thing is very important: throwing a catchable football to the guy you're throwing a screen to that's only like 5 yards away, if that. You don't want to throw a rocket to a guy who's less than 5 yards away on a screen. You want to make sure he's able to catch. You got to throw a catchable football. Jacoby Brissett has been known to really throw hard even when the receiver is really, really close. And when you ain't got much time to track a football, sometimes if that ball is off just a little bit, like a little bit behind you or something like that, it's really hard to catch that football. You're going to end up with a lot of drops. Jacob Eason just throws a little toss catch here. All right. And he does a few other things as well. Let's go ahead and watch this play and see how it turns out. Nice. Dump. Boom. Let's go ahead and see how far he gets. That's a screenplay that succeeds fantastically, right? I mean fantastically. All because of a couple intricacies. One, if you had watched, he did throw a very catchable football. He didn't throw it overly hard. He threw it just enough, quick enough so that defenders couldn't react. He threw it quick enough so that defenders couldn't react fast enough to make a play. But he threw it with enough softness for the receiver to track it and catch it easily. Now, before he ever even lets go of this football, he does something that Brissett just cannot do, or has yet to show that he can do. All right. First, there's the play action. Look where he's looking. Is he looking at the guy? No. He's looking on the opposite end of the field, downfield, way over here. Way over here. Why? Why would he do that? He's not giving these guys up here in the box reason to believe this is even a screen. He waits. He's being patient, waiting for those blockers to let the pass rushers through. He's giving it just a second. Now, they were let through. Look at this. They've already got two blockers out front. The tight ends waiting on the football. We got free release here of two defenders coming right in on Eason. And you see he threw sidearm here. Did you see that? Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can't get back far enough so that you can see this sidearm. I don't want to. I want you to see this. This defender is right in Eason's face when he releases the football. And in order for him to get the ball out to the receiver, he's got to throw it sidearm. Which means he's got that in his repertoire as well. He's able to throw sidearm. He's able to throw it accurately and with the right touch. All right, he takes a snap. He looks downfield like I said earlier. The free release. Here comes. Now watch how he releases this football. His release is a little different. He's going to bring it down instead of straight up because he knows he's got to throw it sidearm because these guys are coming right at him. So he's going to have to throw sidearm to get under the arms, outstretched arms that he's expecting from these defenders. He's expecting them to raise their hands up to try to block this ball. So he's throws that sidearm off to the side. Easy catchable release. Beautifully done. And that's why this play succeeds so well. This is over a 20-yard screenplay. Why? Because he looks off the person that he actually is going to throw to. He looks completely opposite direction. He shows patience, waiting for this screen to develop without paying attention to who he's wanting to throw it to or even on the side of the field that he's throwing the ball to. All right? Not giving any indication whatsoever where this ball is going to go. Even though it's predetermined, it is definitely going to number 87 without any question whatsoever. But he knows in his head, he watched out of his peripheral vision as those defenders were released, as they started to come at him. That's when he changed, turned around, seen he had to throw a sidearm pass, threw the sidearm pass real quick, and look at all the blockers out here. Look at this. 87's got a ton of room once these blocks happen. Just because he looked off the receivers, showed patience, was not afraid of getting hit on the release, and was able to release a very catchable football. Now, we've shown when Jacob Eason does not have to move, he could throw any throw in the NFL. and throw it beautifully with great accuracy. And he can make all kinds of adjustments that he needs to do as long as his feet are set. Now we're going to get to why now we're going to get to why he was a 4th round pick and not a 1st round pick. Because his pocket passing is 1st round all day, every day. Now, why was he a 4th round pick? Why did he last to the 4th round? Let's find out. Now, in today's NFL, pass rush is there. I mean, every team in the NFL is looking for edge rushers, interior pass rushers, linebackers and corners that can blitz, safeties that can blitz. You got to get pressure on a quarterback. You got to be able to make a quarterback move. All right. Not every quarterback in the NFL is blessed with a fantastic offensive line like, say, the Cowboys or the Indianapolis Colts or New Orleans Saints, teams like that. They're blessed. They have quarterbacks, that know how to throw on the move if they need to, but they got offensive lines that allow them time. Now, Eason's walking into that situation where he'll have time to throw the football, but there's going to be times when he's going to have to move. And that's something he doesn't do very well, is throw while on the move. If he's on the move and throwing the football, his accuracy drops exponentially. And that's something I think, believe it or not, Jacoby Brissett can actually help him with. Because there's times when I think Jacoby Brissett throws a more accurate football when he's on the run than when he's standing still in the pocket. I mean, look at what he did in the Denver game when he was when he was dead to rights in the end zone, right? Against Von Miller for a safety, and was able to scramble out, get along the edge, sprinting, throws the football down like 40 yards, right down the sideline to T.Y. Hilton. Jacoby can throw on the run. And this is something he could teach Eason, okay? Something else is Eason's actually athletic. He's a big, strong, quick quarterback. He's got skills. He's got the body size and the athletics to do that. But he doesn't line up his shoulders when he throws the football. He doesn't adjust for his own movement speed when he throws this football. And that's something that dropped him dramatically in this draft. And I'll tell you what, if he could tweak that, make that even 50% better, get him a little bit more accurate while he's on the run, while he's sitting there waiting in the sidelines, while Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett are quarterbacking, he's just watching them. When he's going through quarterback training sessions, when they're going through training camp, when they're going through preseason, when they're going through warm-ups, before games, things of that nature, he could sit down, he can learn. And that's something that he's going to need to learn. When he gets that down, he's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's going to be dangerous. I wasn't for sure about Eason before. I am now. Now that I have studied his film, I am 100% in. Let's go ahead and look at this play. Now there are a ton of clips that shows how bad Eason is when he's on the move. Not when he has pressure in his face. If his feet are set and he's got pressure in his face, he's still accurate as heck. He still throws a really good football. It's when he has to move because he'll get sacked if he don't. That's when things go bad. So let's watch this play right here. There it is. There's the pressure. He steps up. All he did was step out. All he did was just step out to the side. That's all he did. Was just sidestep. He had pressure up the middle. He sidestepped to the right. What happens? He threw the ball in the dirt. Let's watch this in slow motion. All right, I'm not going to show a ton, all of the. I'm only going to show one of these, but it's pretty much how it happens every time he's on the move. About half of his throws are like this on the move. He sees the pressure right here. You see the pressure coming up the middle. He sees him. He's got a guy open right here in the middle. He could legitimately throw it, but he can't throw it because the guys are in his way. So he's got to step out to the side to throw that football in order for the football to get there without getting knocked down by the defender. So he steps out to the side. He throws the football. It's behind him and in the dirt. That happens a lot with Eason. And that's why he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's why he won't be a start, not the first year. Now, with the Colts offensive line, he could still succeed. I think he could absolutely succeed because the Colts offensive line will give him the protection he needs. But there's still going to be multiple times during a game where he's going to have to move in that pocket to avoid pressure. Multiple times. And there's times when it'd be better for him when he's on the move to just completely stop, reset himself, and throw that football. Because as long as his feet are set, then he throws it accurately. If his feet are moving, it's not an accurate throw at all. So once he gets that down, and you got to remember, Frank Wright, he's a quarterback coach, right? He before he was an offensive coordinator, before he was a head coach, he was a quarterback coach. He was a quarterback in the NFL himself. And, I mean, every Colt player knows that. He himself can work with Jacob Eason. The quarterback's coach can work with Jacob Eason. They can get him. These guys worked with Carson Wentz. Wentz is really good at throwing on the run. They worked with a lot of guys. Andrew Luck could throw on the run. So, you give him a year or two. You give Eason a year or two. I'd say 2 years at the most. Maybe 1 year is all he needs. 2 years at the most. Get him to work on his accuracy when he's on the move. And I'm telling you, Jacob Eason can be a franchise quarterback. He can already throw the ball everywhere he needs to on the field. He just has to be able to do everything else, right? Be able to move and throw. That's what's important to him right now. That's what's important to the Colts. Rivers is a better starter right now. I think Eason's better than Jacoby right now just because of what he could do in the pocket. But Eason needs to sit and learn. So that is my breakdown of Jacob Eason, the 4th round pick for the Indianapolis Colts in the 2020 NFL Draft. I hope you enjoy the video. If you liked it, please smash that like button and subscribe so you could be notified, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified next time I go live, okay? Share. Please. Share this video. Let others know this is here. There's not a lot of film breakdown of Jacob Eason. I wanted to bring this out so that you guys could see it yourselves. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Colts_law. I'm on Sportscaster. You go to sportscaster.com/Lawrence Owen. All right. You see a lot of my stuff. I also have a secondary. That's actually my Clutch Points profile where I do videos for Clutch Points articles covering the NFL. I have a pretty much a Colts-centric one called Colts Law USN. You can also follow that one as well. So, until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And I want you, as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.